Hey, I'm Rachel K Collier and I'm going to walk you through how I make an electronic track using Komplete 26. So what is Komplete 26? It is the ultimate collection of plugins. Every music producer's dream right here. We can make any sounds from drums right up to a choir. We've got loads of different creative audio effects which have been super fun to play with, and audio effects for mixing and mastering. So let's dive in, let me show you how I put a track together. So when I open my DAW, I'm definitely not the producer who has the idea in the head and wants to get it down. I like to play around with as many sounds as possible until something sticks, and then when I'm feeling it, I'll go ahead and write a melody and a lyric. For kicking off some initial ideas, I found the play box in the Kontakt library. These fun little samples. With so much texture. That is such a John Hopkins vibe. I then found this super cool Halo Vox, which I absolutely loved. Just makes these really cool pad sounds. I loved all the different tones you could get just playing with the cutoff filter. And I ended up going for a nice little F minor, A flat, C sharp major, and C minor sequence. And then continuing on in Kontakt, I found the Rudiments pack and I thought, let's make a little basic groove now, get something going. These drum sounds are so cool, they got so much energy. You can mod things over here, change the hits. Then you've got different patterns here. And I ended up just drawing in something basic, adding a little bit of bite to it, a bit of crunch. So I got a little chord sequence, basic groove going. Now I wanted to find some bass sounds to play with. And I found this super cool sound, Deep Fried in Massive X. With this really fun user interface, super interactive. Which just did so much by itself. I thought, that is it, that is the sound. Continuing on in my bass quest, I found this really cool D&B junky bass in Absinthe 6. And then I added a nice big wet snare with battery. Some round reverb. This is such a cool reverb, I really enjoy playing with this. Woo! And some solid bus compression on there. Then I added this nice little ARP sound from Absinthe 6 again. Just for a bit of vibes in the background. And this is when I was like, you know what, I've got enough here now to start improvising some melodies.
Take your chance, call in things, love it down to my face.
That melody didn't stick.
I told you over and over again, said that you wouldn't pretend, said that you would love all the life.
And I did that one.
I'll just say it like I mean it, no regret.
Neither did that one. But eventually, and I think it's this one, this is the improvisation. Just got a little bit of Ableton Live's tuning device on there, auto shift, and some Nectar for a little vibe. And a lovely dose of Realm on the reverb send. This is the melody that did actually stick. All just gibberish lyrics. Turn up the reverb send to make it sound less bad. And this little word here, emotion, I did end up using that as inspiration for the lyrics. So I was feeling that melody, but I wanted to keep adding to the sound palette here to give myself more to work with when I was arranging the full production. So I took a little chunk of this vocal and cut it up into a little chop like this. They're made using this little row of effects. I'll turn them off so you can hear the difference. Sounds pretty naff without the processing. Tuning saves it a little, but guitar rig was the thing that really brought this to life. The solo breather preset. So many different components you can add. It's such a cool multi-FX plugin. Added a little bit of round then to give it the vibe. EQ'd out that low end, which is just not needed. A little bit of LFO. And then in the mix, some percussion from my good friend Vicky. And that's when I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's arrange out the track. So just from that initial sketch of ideas, we've got the full arrangement here. We've got an intro with that vocal hook you heard. The vocal down an octave. We've got a drop with that dirty bass and those drums. We've got a verse 2. Our second drop, which goes all out. A nice guitar-y outro. So let me walk you through now how I built and developed from that simple song sketch into this full arrangement. So let's kick off with the drums. There's a little bit more going on than in the initial sketch. So let's chat about the kick drum. I definitely needed to add an additional one because the other one from the first sketch was a little bit dainty and cute. So here we go. Here's my new kick. I was using battery with one of my kick drum sounds. I've got two of my favourite kicks, RKC kick 1 and 2. And so for the verse, I've got this feel. And for the drop, I've got double kicks together, just for more of a thud. Then I added some super musical drum textures. And all those resonances are coming from the C send, which is just a guitar rig preset. With my kick drum, the rudiments kit, the battery snare, and then super fun, the toms are also from Contact Library, Discoteca drums. Lots of processing going on with the driver and the dirt plugin. Some reverb with the RC48 and some compression with the Solid Dynamics. I also got my crashes from a Contact Library from DrumLab. These were pretty nice texture. And then this is super fun. This is a proper retro sample from a Native Instrument Community Drive pack back when I was first producing DJ Dahi. And just because I hadn't used enough contacts as it was already, I had a final contact for some breaks with the Empire Breaks pack, which I've frozen and flattened, and just used some fills in my drops. So a little mix of contact, battery, an old sample, and Vicky on the shakers makes out my whole drum track. So now let's jump into the bass. I've used 3 different bass sounds on this track. The main one, this big old deep fried sound. I've added a fair bit of process into this, a little bit of dirt, some supercharger, and I've done some automation with the choral effect, just giving it that little bit of width. I think it's especially nice to have some modulation on bass notes which aren't really doing that much. It's just playing like an F and a C, so it makes it slightly less boring. And then for the second half of the drop, we've got the Absynth bass joining in with the Massive X. Absynth providing that lower subby feel. One more bass I used, just for a little bit of variation in verse 2, is another Massive X bass. Very Reese bass sound. D.R. Kalios.
lost our way, but we're already home. While silence speaks, I try to stay composed.
I think it's always nice to have some variation, definitely in your verses and your drops with bass. So let's check out now the synths on the drop. As you guys heard in my little sketch, I love the Halo Vox Play Series instrument. And I used 2 different Halo sounds and majorly played with this cutoff filter. So here's the first one coming up. And with the cutoff filter, I drew a little pattern in. So the filter's just opening, opening, opening. And to give it that kind of cool EDM feel, I also automated the volume, like super hard, so it's like wah wah wah, wah wah wah. I doubled this Halo Vox with another Halo Vox, a slightly different preset this time, the Force. It's like a little bit higher sounding, a little bit more cut-in. But a really similar pattern with the cutoff filter. And then on the group, I did some processing with a little bit of Enhance EQ, used some Ableton EQs, but then I also used the Neutron 5 Elements, which is a super cool mixing plugin. If you load it in and press go, it's going to listen to your track and then assist you with your mix. And then suggest to you some sonic enhancements, which you can then go ahead and tweak however you please. So what I was trying to do with my track for the first part of the song was make it quite beautiful, let you get lost in it, it's all dreamy, and then you have a bit of a shock when it drops. So for the intro of my song, I definitely needed to dive in and grab some more synths, and this is the little combo of intro synths I came up with. I found this pretty cool sound from Absynth 6. So here it goes, a little bit of automation, up to my drop. Next up, I've just got this repeated note from Massive X, which is a Berlin Tales preset. And I've used a combo of these really fun little plugins, Freak, Dirt, and Choral. So you hear then Choral's making it that little bit wider, Dirt's making it that little bit dirtier. And then I got this gentle little flute sound with the Lo-Fi Glow Play Series instrument. This one is so fun. And then I really love this little sound. It's another Massive X one, Chillwave Keys. Have a little play with the knob here. Feel like I could do this all day. And I think this really set the scene for this intro. Because of the rhythm of this ARP, and there's no kick drum or click or anything playing, I actually resampled the top note of it just to really hammer home that rhythm.
Deeper than wild emotion, coated into my skin.
And then from these super cool synth sounds, I always like to do a little bit of resampling and get my synthy glitchy stuff just to really enhance and make those transitions pop. Another texture that I had super fun playing with in this track is the guitar. This is my Fender Telecaster, played by my friend Simon. So for my intro, which I wanted to make beautiful and dreamy, I've got some nice crunchy chords here on the guitar. Guitar Rig 7 and Neutron Elements on there for the mixing. Let's turn off the plugins and have a listen. Pretty puny, but with the guitar rig, I've got this rock seeker effect. I've just got an amp and a cabinet, and I just love that. Super crunchy, nice and dry, and then the Neutron Elements is just keeping that all in check. Then my second little guitar I've got here, super chilled. We turn off guitar rig, turn off choral. Again, just very basic sound, but with guitar rig on there, I've got this lovely little preset called Beautiful Dirt. And in the special effects section, they've got, these are so cool, the Traktor effects. They've got a gating effect, which I automate on and off. These are definitely worth playing with to make some exciting sounds. And then extra fun here at the end. Got some rocky chords with the Michael's Delight. So continuing my love with guitar rig, now let's jump into my lead vocals, how I've arranged them and the processing. So I've got one big group here where I've got a mixture of the low vocal here. Then I got my verse 2 here. We lost our way, but we're already home. The build up here. So as you can hear, it is pretty processed, and I think this is really fun to do with electronic music. You can really dive in a little bit deeper, add some more crazy reverb, some gating effects, all these fun things. So let's check out this lower octave vocal here. I've got a little bit of tuning with Live's auto shift, and then I've got the Nectar 4 Elements, which is another one of these super cool plugins where you can learn the vocal tone, and it's going to suggest to you how to process it. Preparing processing, and then we can tweak accordingly. And then I've got some straight up Ableton stuff there, just doing a little bit of saturation and the low double effect. Like a live wire, racing, rushing, no restraint. The vocal is also a lot more dreamy to begin with. I love this replica delay plugin. This has been really fun to play with. And I automate this on and off, depending on what section we're in. But what's really important for the sound of this vocal is actually on the group, where I have got some guitar rigs automated on and off. So for the intro here, I found this really cool spatial spring delay. And then we've got a different effect then for the drops with some of my favorite components, the reverse grain and the beat slicer and the gator. Turn it off. And now if we dive into the vocals at a higher pitch, we've got our auto shift with a bit of tuning. I wanted to use this realm reverb for my vocals. It's also got kind of like a robot-y sound. And that's coming from my guitar rig Send. And then I've also got some little ad-libs down here, automated and popped in on certain phrases, which bring a little bit of life to my drop. So last but definitely not least, let's check out the Vox FX, because all these little sounds that I like to create from vocals I've recorded, I think really glue everything together and really help with those transitions. So I've got a whole group here of Vox FX. I made lots of different sounds, including the crazy one you heard in the sketch. Let's have a quick little look on how I made some of these. So this first sound here, which just adds to the textures of my intro, are just my vocal that I've thrown into an empty MIDI track, created some chops with Ableton Simpler. I've got guitar rig on them and some replica and some choral. I also made this kind of percussive vocal sound here, which acts as almost like a part of the drums from my voice. I've just got freaking dirt on there. Let's turn it off. Just hear my breath there. Freak giving it some spread, dirt giving it some dirt, and that's in there with the drums. And this is really fun, guys. This is again from that Community Drive sample pack from a few years back from Native Instruments. This is actually Sia's vocal. How cool is that? Let's stretch it out. What's the original sound like? A little bit of a pitch shift, put it to -1, and got some choral on it to make it that bit wider. So here's my mix. Now let's check out something super cool, which is Ozone 12 and mastering. So now is the fun bit. I'm going to go ahead and do a little master of my track with Ozone Elements. Now this is just like the neutron and the nectar. I can press play on my master and ask Ozone to listen to it and give me a suggestion for a master for my mix. Auto master.
Deeper than wild emotion, coated into my skin, signaling through the bloodline, reaching above you in.
Let's dive in and listen to the full track.
Deeper than wild emotion, coated into my skin, signaling through the bloodline, reaching above you in, like a life wire in my veins, racing, rushing, no restraint. Deeper than wild emotion, get to know the DNA, let it win.
There we have it. There's my track Wild Emotion that I made with Komplete 26. I've really loved this project. It has been so much fun. Thank you Native Instruments for having me. I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.